In today's video, I specifically want to talk about the way Call of Duty monetizes their store, and I'm also going to be talking about some issues I have with Black Cell and the Battle Pass. Where last video I talked more about how I think Call of Duty is starting to push itself more into a pay-to-win structure. And before we get too deep into the video, I think there was some confusion because I did say that the newest Call of Duty has poor visibility, and that made operators like the Black Noir kind of pay to win. So I'll put a link in the description below about why I think the newest Call of Duty has poor visibility. And I'll also put a link in the description for my last video too, if you want to see it. Now, my first real complaint with the Call of Duty store is I don't understand why everyone is following this Fortnite monetization scheme of buying in-game currency bundles from the store instead of just taking my money directly. Like, you see a bunch of bundles that are like 2,000 COD points, 2,400 COD points. There's one that's 2,800 COD points. Of course, it won't be perfect, but I'm just going to use a 1-to-1 ratio here. But I would prefer it if it was all just in money, and I didn't have to waste time wondering about how many COD point bundles I needed to buy to get the 2,800 one. Stuff like that, right? Like, you're just overcomplicating something that should just be like, okay, here's my debit card information. I want to buy this, here you go. And even though Call of Duty is a little bit better than like the other game I play, Halo Infinite, it still annoys me that I have to spend $20 to get 2,400 COD points to buy a 2,000 COD point bundle, than just being able to flat out pay for it and not having to worry about having the extra 400 COD points. And I know why they do it. They do it because you get that little bit of extra money, and it's like, well, if I just spend some more money, I can get another bundle. It's kind of predatory, and I just hate it. And a good example is, it's like, imagine if you went to a grocery store like H-E-B, Walmart, Albertsons, Target, and you had to buy H-E-B money, right? And it goes in bundles of 5, 10, and 15. Well, what happens if you have $7 worth of items you want to buy, but you had to spend $10 to buy $7? That's just stupid. And once you buy the H-E-B money, it's non-refundable, so you're just stuck with that money. I just want the Call of Duty store and all these other video game stores to keep it simple and not so predatory. Because, I mean, if you look at the old school Black Ops 2 store, everything there you're just paying out of pocket. Like, you're not having to spend money on a stupid in-game currency bundle. You can just straight up buy it. And I don't understand why we can't go back to that simplicity. Like, if something is $20, you should pay $20. Now, on the next thing I don't like about the store is I kind of wish it would go back to the more old school thing of buying weapon camos, because I really do not like weapon blueprints. One, I did discuss it in my last video that I do think weapon blueprints are a pay-to-win element. I think it's paying for convenience. It's easier to level up a gun when you spend $20 on an operator bundle and you get some attachments for it immediately. I don't like that aspect of it, but I also don't like the aspect that you can't put any attachment you want on it without breaking the blueprint. And I also don't like that the blueprint only works for select few guns instead of the old school way of the weapon camo, where you could put the new weapon camo you just bought on every single gun in the game. And I know Modern Warfare 2 is starting to introduce the universal wraps for the weapon blueprints, but that's just a slightly new thing. They've been doing weapon blueprints since 2019. And the fact that the universal wrap is just now a new thing is just stupid to me. The next thing I want to talk about, which I do consider to be a part of the Call of Duty shop, is the Battle Pass. I really hate the FOMO nature and kind of chore nature that the Battle Pass has, because the Battle Pass will expire at the end of the season. And I know it works like that for other games too, but I come from Halo Infinite. In Halo Infinite, the Battle Passes do not expire, and even if you're a new player, you can play the previous season Battle Passes and get all the rewards. I think that's just a better consumer-friendly system, and I thank 343 for doing it. Now, the game has its other issues, but this is a Call of Duty video. I just want Call of Duty to go that way, because that's better for the casual players. Because I had someone in the comments, which this is going to go into the Black Cell, that talks about the reason he buys Black Cell is because he can get like a, 20 tiers if on Xbox and 25 tiers if you're on PlayStation? So it's just convenient to buy the Black Cell because he knows he can complete the Battle Pass at the end of the season. To me, that shouldn't be a thing. You shouldn't be selling a solution to a problem you created. And the last thing I want to talk about is I find it so scummy that between Warzone 1 and Warzone 2 is that all the previous stuff that you bought from the Call of Duty store did not carry over to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 / Warzone, right? Because in the past it was like, okay, well, if you buy this bundle in Modern Warfare 2019, you'll always have it in Warzone. but they stopped doing that after Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 was made. And for instance, in Call of Duty Vanguard, you were able to play as Snoop Dogg. There was a character bundle for him. And in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, they're selling a new Snoop Dogg bundle. And my issue is, it's like, well, if you already paid for the Snoop Dogg bundle in Vanguard, you should be able to play as him in Modern Warfare 2. But instead, you have to rebuy him again. I think that's terrible for the consumer, and it makes at least me wonder, by the next Call of Duty that Infinity Ward makes, they're just going to throw away all the cosmetics again and resell them to us. Because even though there might be slight differences between the new Snoop Dogg bundle and the old one, it's still Snoop Dogg. It's the same guy. Like, it doesn't matter if there's slight differences. So for me personally, I just, as someone who did buy bundles for Cold War, I just feel kind of burned in that area. And it's like, you're just going to make everyone restart from zero again, so why buy the bundle? And battle passes are the only difference, because if you do all the free stuff for the battle pass, like again, season 1 and 2, if you complete those battle passes, get all the free credits, then you can get the current battle pass. And I am happy to hear that stuff is going to carry over to the new Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I'd like to see that more from Call of Duty. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching the video, and thank you for all the comments, agreeing or disagreeing with me the last video. That's why I make these videos, is for an open dialogue. And what do you think about the monetization of Call of Duty and the fact that this stuff will potentially be thrown away when they do Warzone 3.0 or the next Infinity Ward game? And
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.